What?
Hi there, and welcome to another edition of In Between the Pages with James Lott Jr. I am James Lott Jr., your host, and I have a really interesting person on the Zoom this time. I'm bringing you interesting people while we're all sitting at home doing whatever we're doing. So she is a singer with a new song called All I Need. She's also a student at Gallatin University at NYU where they create their own major. I heard your major is, we're going to talk about that.
I'm so
It's
excited.
very interesting. You know that girl. And also, she was on season 3 of Snapchat's original series, hit show Endless. We're going to talk about that too and what that actually did for her. I'm happy to have her on here, Laura Pieri.
Hi, I'm so
Laura.
excited to be here.
Yes, welcome. Well, that's what I do always first with every guest to talk to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. This quarantine really has me confused, I guess. My sleep schedule. I mean, does anybody even still have a sleep schedule?
It's like, yes, like what day is it? What time is it? Do I have to go to bed early or do I not go to bed early? Can I take naps? I mean,
All I've been doing is eating and sleeping, and I wish I could be one of those people that wakes up at 8 and like has a fruit smoothie and goes for like does a home workout and is super productive. But I'm up till 5 a.m. just wondering like, what do I want to do now? It's so confusing, but I'm good. I think that I've really taken this time to like clean my house and clean myself and my energy and just do a lot of like self-reflection, I guess, is I'm just prepping for what's to come. That's what
I'm
I'm doing.
glad you're doing that because I've been telling people this is a time for us to actually do some, I always call it self check-ins. It's now time to do a little check-in. Where are you going? Are you happy where you're going? Are you happy where you've been? Did you make some things you should have done? Or are there some
Yeah,
things you want to do? You want to look into it further? Do you want to drop some stuff? Add some stuff? You know, I think it's a good time to do that.
absolutely. And I feel like it's also a great time to just learn something new.
Yes.
Um, like I sing, but I don't produce. So I've just taken the time to start learning some production tools. Like I'm learning how to use Ableton, how to use Pro
Good.
Tools. I'm
Good.
just trying to do different things. So I'm not upset at the quarantine, but I'm really aware of the impact that it's having on a global scale. I'm sorry, that was really loud.
This is real
How do
life, folks. This is real life.
I don't even know how to mute this on this computer.
I know. Do you have an iMac?
Yes.
Same thing. I don't know how to mute it either.
I
Okay.
don't, well, if you hear dinging, my apologies.
Oh, it happened to me too. And I was just like, because for me, I'm like, because on my phone, I have it on Do Not Disturb on my phone. So I get the stuff comes through, but it's making noise. I don't know how to do it on here.
That's how I feel. I'm just like, oh, here we go. I think I can like mute it on the phone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tried.
It's life, folks. It's
But
life.
anyway, I am really aware of what this quarantine is going to do economically on a global scale. And luckily for me, my work can be done at home and it can be done in this way, but a lot of other people's work can't. Like people who work in hospitality, I'm really concerned about their well-being. And so I've just been reaching out to a lot of people as well and just offering my support and help whenever I can.
Very nice of you. I like that. So, but I want to make sure you're okay and that you're safe and sane. I know it's a little weird. It's like,
Yeah.
we never do. I've been, as of this recording, I've been home 20 days. I have not left my property in 20 days.
Yep. It's
So,
okay. I've been talking to my cat, and so far he hasn't talked back, but we'll see. He might.
I used to wish my animals could talk back, kind of. It's kind of interesting. Dr. Doolittle.
Here.
It might be scary. It might be scary. They might start getting smart with you.
Here.
Let's see, baby.
This is my son.
Oh my gosh, so cute. Look at
Right?
that face.
I woke him up from a
Hi,
nap. Like
baby.
he's a
Oh,
little.
I can tell his eyes are all slits. Hi, baby.
Right?
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I want to eat you alive. You're so cute.
He's my son.
Oh, cutie pie. He's like, I was sleeping. Leave me alone.
Yeah, he might
Uh,
be sleeping here, actually.
well, actually, probably. Well, the thing is, most animals are happy their owners are at home this
I
time.
think that I swear, he looks at me sometimes and he's like, please go outside. Please leave me. You're doing too much.
I love it. So the one thing I want to start out with, because this is the most interesting part. I mean, you have a lot of interesting stuff going on, but this is really interesting. So you go to a school at NYU that actually you can make your own major. Can you explain that before we even
Okay.
get to what it is?
Yeah.
Explain that.
So when it was time for me to pick where to go to college, actually, I've known that I wanted to go to NYU since I guess
Great,
before junior
great
year
place. Great place.
because their program Gallatin, what you get to do is you have a concentration. So the purpose of it, it allows you to look at one topic through an interdisciplinary way. So you can look at one topic through psychology, through philosophy, through anthropology, but it's the same topic. Like you're looking at one thing through different schools of thought, different major, different, I guess, understandings and types of studies.
Very interesting.
And since I was a very, very little girl, oh, you want to leave?
Oh, bye-bye.
Since I was a very...
For those who are listening to this, the cat jumped out of her arms goodbye, just said peace out and like.
Yeah, he was sleeping. He got up and left. He doesn't want to be a part of this conversation anymore. Like his mom. It's okay.
I love it.
I've been fascinated by the concept of evilness.
So your subject is evil.
Yes, that's my concentration.
That is a trip. So you're learning it through different ways. I mean, you said different schools of thought, of thought.
Yeah. So for example, like I guess the easiest way to explain is one part of it is philosophy. So a lot of it is looking at morality and ideas of where do we get the word evilness. So you talk about religion, you talk about the concept of right and wrong and how that differs across the world, and the idea of like, is justice morality? And so that's philosophy. And then you have anthropology, which is human evolution. How much are we, like, is our aggression similar to aggression in primates and chimps and that kind of stuff? So it's very, you need to like what you're doing, because instead of having to do one major, I'm having to do multiple majors and pick out from them what I want to look at. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So let's say I'm in a class that's anthropology. I need to be able to pick out from that class the readings and the information that I'm going to use for my concentration, but I still have to be in that class for all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean?
So, okay, so logistically, I want to get this logistically. So semesters come in, you got to sign up. And so literally go through the same process as everybody else, but you're picking that subject in that major that relates to what you're trying to get, that concentration.
Exactly. So for example, like when it comes time to pick classes, I don't have a major prereq list. Okay. But I do have to prove to my school that what I'm doing is a concentration. So for example, I pick my classes and I have to do like check-ins, which is like, so from this class, I'm taking this, and then you do a thing that's called a colloquium, which is you prove that what you've done is a major. And part of that is you do a book list, and you do like, you kind of do like, it's sort of a summary where you do a book list and you explain your major as if you were teaching it to someone else, kind of thing. Oh, wow. So it really is a major, just in a different way. And a lot of people are asking me, well, what are you going to do with that once you graduate? That's usually the follow-up question, because what can you do with a degree in evilness? And I always say, it's complicated. I'm not planning on using my degree for evilness. Like, I'm planning on just using that to further my education. And the job that, like, well, I have a job right now, but if I chose to work in academia, I could probably pick, like, the job that I could have doesn't exist. There are so many opportunities and possibilities in the world today, and I just don't want to limit myself. And I enjoy what I'm studying. There's a lot of law, politics, and anthropology into it, and that's what I love the most. So I'm just having a good time going to school.
I was going to say, I mean, you're right, a girl right my alley. I was going to say, though, yeah, when you leave, there probably are jobs you can take because you took these courses in general anyway. Yes. Your degree is one thing, and that shows completion. To me, that shows completion. You did some schooling, went to a good school, completion. But within that, you're taking some psychology. You're taking some anthropology. Like, you can actually make that into different. You could teach. You could do it. I mean, there's things you could do. Not necessarily an evilness, but you can use that for other avenues.
Exactly. Like, so far, my favorite class to take, which actually I'm considering declaring a minor in it, is art history.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. What started my fascination with everything was just like memento mori art, and how you could have like art that references death, and you.
Hi, baby.
You see,
hi, Angel.
He wants to be a part. Oh.
I love it. I love it.
Sorry, my cat just
I love
through
it.
my entire.
I love it.
Computer setup, but yeah.
Yes, I love it.
I liked art history a lot because we have been fascinated with the concept of death for so long, and at some point that death, like the concept of death, got tied into morality, and like the life that you live matters in a sense, and some people are better than others and get to go to better places than others. And so that's where my interest started. And then when I was about 14 or like 10, 12, I got obsessed with true crime.
Yeah.
Obsessed with true crime. I was studying serial killers when I was so young. My mom was so concerned. She was worried for my safety. And I was like, the idea that I am the most vulnerable in the world, like women are the biggest victims in like that sense.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all just what fascinated me to get into it. But I'm having a great time. I'm taking some classes that I'm really passionate about with professors that are really passionate about what they're doing.
I want to show you something. Since you said that. Everybody, hold on. I'm going to show you something that I have that I love this thing. So I got this book, and I'm reading it right now. So funny you mentioned this. It's so, you and I are in sync. We're gonna be new besties.
Love that.
A book called Dead, and it's about. I love the cover. It's like it's a mausoleum or something. It's the celebration of mortality, and it's the stories about mortality and stuff, and about death, and talks about death in ways that are very interesting. But I love this book. I got it at one of my local bookstores. Support local bookstores at a bookstore, and I love it.
Who wrote it?
So it's Charles Saatchi, Saatchi.
It's called Death.
Yeah, called Dead.
Dead. All right, I'm gonna read that.
It's very interesting.
I just finished reading completely unrelated, but Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh yes, I know that one. Yes.
Great book.
Oh my God, girl, we're besties already. I can tell already.
I love reading. I'm such a nerd. I feel like that's one thing I don't think anyone really gets from when they see me online and when they see me on the show or when they see me on stage. But I am the biggest geek on the land. The amount of Dragon Age that I have been playing since this quarantine, like the geek in me is thriving. Call of Duty, I've been,
oh my goodness. So you're a gamer.
I mean,
kind of.
I'm bad at it. I'm terrible.
But you have fun doing it.
Like something does not mean I'm good at it.
Well, that's fine, but you like doing it. You have fun, right? What are you doing?
Oh, absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Well, a lot of people are different off stage. There's a lot of people who they're one way. There's a persona. They're performing. I'm a host of the. I come out and I'm a certain way, and then there's times, like I said, I'm reading books about death. That's just kind of like what I do. It's like I have a lot of interest I do puzzles. I'm doing a puzzle right now. Like it's like that's not exciting to people. But what I do in public is exciting. When I talk to celebrities and stuff, it's exciting. But we have lives outside of this.
That's I feel like. Wait, let's talk about that. I like this. I feel like it's so easy for you to see someone online and just immediately assume that you know exactly who they are. Mm-hmm. And I've been getting so much more attention this year than this has been, my career has really been starting to take off for me and getting stronger. And I always expected, I guess, negative attention online, but what I didn't expect was like misinformation, I guess, and just people assuming that they know me and people just making assumptions. And that's been the most challenging thing for me so far with like my stuff that's been taking off, because but I understand where they're coming from. Like when I am on stage, when you see me on Endless, when you see me performing, and when you see anything, there is this kind of creation in this curated persona, I'd say, that people just assume that you're like that all the time. And I have bad days. I looked terrible this morning. I woke up this morning and I looked at myself and I was like, we need to do a face mask. We got to try something else. And I don't think people see that. And I just think that that's really interesting that whenever I talk about my major, whenever I talk about my geekiness, I always get like, oh, I never thought that'd be something that you'd be into. So that's why I really appreciate like interviews like this. Like I'm really thankful for this opportunity.
Well, no, I think, as a person who lives in front of the camera, I know what it's like. And I have music out and I have books out, so people think they know you. And in a way, they do know you a little bit. They know what you're putting out of you, but they think they start, and when people become fans, I call them followers, become followers and fans, then they really start to kind of feel like they kind of own you a little bit, and they feel like,
Yeah.
well, I know Laura. I mean, she's this and she's that. And then when you present something else, it kind of throws them off like, oh, well, that's not the image I had of her. And
Yeah.
or they come to you for a certain image. Oh, she's pretty. She's this. She has dark hair, blah, blah, brown hair, whatever. And then it's like, oh, but she likes this. She likes gaming and she likes Call of Duty.
That's exactly how I feel. I mean, I'm gonna sound like I do think I have the best fans in the world. This may sound super conceited of me, but I think that the fans that I do have are the absolute. I don't understand how I got so lucky. I have truly incredible, loyal fans that, I mean, I'm friends with a lot of them. I follow their stuff online. I stalk my fans all the time.
Me too.
It's just, and I feel like a lot of them really just are concerned about everybody else's well-being and just what everyone is doing, but there is always like a handful there that is just in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And it ruins it for everybody else. So I think that the minimum that I can do is tolerate the handful, because of the rest that are not part of that handful. They deserve everything, like every attention. I'm theirs. Like, it's hard to explain, but like,
I get it.
I'm theirs. I'm my fans' property in a lot of ways, because I make music to make them feel good, and I make music to keep them entertained, and I change my routine because I think it's going to be better for them to watch. Like, that's kind of the way I approach it. So I guess, like, if you need to take a couple of people who don't really understand you, that's entirely fine, because I have so many other people that do.
Great attitude. No, seriously. I mean, I released a new song today, actually, with a friend of mine, a Spanish song called Bailarlo. It's out everywhere. But the thing is, I know that whenever I release a piece of art, and this is for you too, that it's open for everybody to say whatever they want. And they have a right to say whatever they want. And like you said, overwhelmingly, there are folks who love it, and they're really your fans. They follow what you have. They really like what you're putting out. The little small people, that's fine. You don't want to like it, you want to talk crap about it, that's fine. I'm still going to do what I'm doing. I'm still going to do it. You're still going to do what you're going to do, right? You're still going to do what you're going to do.
That's how I feel. And it's crazy too, because I'm trying my best too, like we're all trying our best too. I have some issues. It's like that's just kind of how things.
Right.
I don't live a problem-free life.
No.
That's not how my life goes.
Same here. Right.
But it's just so easy to judge someone because you see like they seem distant from you. Like yesterday, I did an Ask Me Anything on Snapchat, and I did it like it was anonymous with an app that like you could send questions anonymously.
Yeah.
And to me, I was laughing about that because I could tell like I knew when some people were like, I have stalked some of my fans so much that I knew it was anonymous, but I knew some of them. I mean, I knew them by their Twitter usernames, if that's
right.
I knew some of them, and I could just tell, and they were like such great questions. I had questions asking about like mental health and books and music making process, and questions about my favorite guitars, questions about best ways to cut vocals and things like that. And then I had some questions that weren't like,
of course.
Like,
yeah.
So it was interesting. It was really interesting, but I guess I'm really overwhelmingly just more thankful. And I feel like, if anything, this quarantine has really allowed for me to sit in and respond to my comments and respond, because I don't have time usually. But being at home, I've had a lot of time to reach out to some of the people who have been there for my music the most, and just show them appreciation, I guess.
But the thing is, I think you guys see, I have a feeling you get it. The fact that I'm always like, someone actually takes the time to listen to my song online or stream it, even if it's one stream. If somebody buys it, if one person spends $1.29 on iTunes and buys one of my songs, that's serious to me. I mean, because I do for other people, the fact that someone is moved to say, I love Laura Pieri, I love her music, I love that new song, I'm going to go ahead and stream it on Spotify, or I'm going to go on YouTube channel and watch and view her video. Like, that's big. That's the big deal, right? That's a big deal.
Absolutely. Are you kidding? Yesterday, I just got on TikTok. Like, I just made a TikTok.
I'm on it too, girl. I'm on it too.
I just made it, and I was like so nervous, and I didn't really know what to do. And a lot of people,
Same here.
I just started. They were like, "Why are you verified?" and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, "Because I am who I say I am," and all that kind of stuff. But my friend, as kind of like, because she knew I was really like nervous about just making a TikTok. I was like, "Oh my god, I've never been on this platform." She did a dance to my song.
Okay.
And people were learning that dance, and I was watching that yesterday, actually in tears. I was so moved. I'm emotional talking about it right now. I never believed that could be a reality, and that people would spend the time. And if you're taking the time and the dedication to put in to something that I crafted, hoping you'd like, that's all I've ever dreamed of. Like, all I've ever dreamed of was making other people happy through the way that I myself get happy, you know?
Yeah, you gotta be a little emotional, girl.
It's incredible.
I love it. I love it. No, because
send me your TikToks if you have them. Send me your TikToks. I will watch them.
No, I'm gonna follow you because I'm actually kind of a TikTok star right now. It's kind of weird.
Love that for you.
I joined 3 months ago. I was like, oh, I'm really a hit all of a sudden. It's kind of weird.
I joined yesterday, and I'm still learning how to do the editing and like syncing the sounds up.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it, girl. But I want to piggyback off that. Just think for you is that you put your heart and soul to whatever you're doing, right? So the fact that someone gets it and enjoys it, that it feeds you again. You're feeding them, they're feeding you. It's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah. I just think I hate to, I sound like that annoying happy person. I
love it.
I'm really lucky to be like where I am and have the fans that I have. And honestly, if I never grow beyond what I am right now, I will love and still put out music for the fans that I do have. Like they're incredible. I'm really proud.
So I heard the song. It's really good. So how would you describe right now where you are? Because people's music evolves and changes.
Yeah.
Where you're right now, what is your music right now? How would you describe it to people?
Oh wow, I think that I'm in the middle of a process still.
Okay, good. Okay.
I've been in development for a while. It took me a hot second to really find myself, I guess, musically. And that deals with like, I changed as a person. I guess the person who I was last year is so different than who I am this year. And I've really kind of found my sound, I'd say. Like, I'm a huge fan of the 70s and the 80s. Yes. And before I did All I Need, that was really the vibe that I was in. I was really taking in that kind of media. And I stopped fighting the process, I guess is kind of what I can say.
Good.
And I just let myself be inspired by what I wanted it to. And if you watch the video for All I Need, everyone has said like, oh, I can see your 70s and your 80s.
Yeah, so it's in there. It's in there, girl. It's in
right? There. Yeah. And I just have allowed myself to be more comfortable with expressing different things. So I feel like my sound is definitely pop. It's very mainstream pop, but it's got a little bit of the influences of who I am and what I'm listening to and the kind of media I'm consuming, I'd say.
People have comparing you to a few people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about comparisons? I know. I mean, I know it's part of the business, but how do you feel about that and who you've been compared to?
I am mostly flattered by most of them. It's very flattering. Look, I am the first person of my family to be in the United States. I'm the first person of my family to go to a college outside of Brazil. And I'm the first person of my family to try and build a like music career outside of Brazil. He keeps jumping on.
I love him. It's fine. We love
my cat keeps interrupting us, and I'm so sorry. I might have to lock him
out. It's fine.
Leo, do less. Yeah. But so I feel a lot of pressure as is, and just to be aware that at the end of the day, I am an immigrant and I am representing an entire different nation. That and then when I get compared to people, I guess I already have a lot of pressure, and when I get the comparisons, I feel the pressure very much on myself, and just like the tension that it's there, because you obviously want to do your people proud. I want to make Brazil proud, but I also want to live up to the expectations that people have of me. So when people compare me to someone as incredible and as great as J-Lo, in my brain, I'm like, exactly. In my brain, all I can think of is, oh dear God, I need to do them proud because these are the women that I looked up to, and these are the women that inspired me to get into music and to it just, I'm very careful about the person I am and the things that I do, and when I get those comparisons, it only justifies that in a sense.
Now Brazil, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, is a melting pot basically, because I mean I know you guys have like Asian, German, Portuguese, obviously Portuguese, Spanish. I mean, it's just like it's the biggest country in South America, obviously, but you have a lot of influence, don't you?
Yep.
So
absolutely.
So growing up, what were some of your like influences that you can remember, like this kind of cultural wise too? I mean, I know it's like a culture in Brazil, but like, what other kind of influence you have in you? Do you think?
I'm still figuring, to be honest. I don't really fully know the answer to that because in the way I grew up, I only knew that it was different when I moved here because to everyone growing up in Brazil, it's the same. So I wasn't aware of the things that made it different.
I like that. Okay.
And I'm starting to see it now. For example, like the coronavirus was going on. When I checked, like when my friends were checking their temperatures, they were putting their thermometers in their mouths. And I was like, what are you all doing? It goes under your arm.
Oh, yeah.
Just small little things like that. Or like places where you put the trash can. Like small, and like having a bidet is normal in Brazil and it's not normal here. So, like small little tiny things like that I'm noticing a lot. And of course with food, and in like in Brazil we're a very warm culture, so we hug and kiss and we're very not weird about that. And here I have realized the hard way that that's not how you do things.
Yeah, I love hugging, but everybody does that. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just that's been the biggest adjustment, is like cultural warmth for me is something that I have to readjust. And just it's very clear that I'm a foreigner.
Makes
and that is new for me because
so in a few years we'll ask you. Once again, when you have that big hit single, big album, when I'm interviewing you, I'm gonna say, so now let me ask you, Laura, how has it been different here? And everybody will be able to tell me.
Right.
But no, I know that, and because you're part of the Southern Hemisphere, like your Christmases are warm. Like you're in New York now. There's snow. You probably didn't have snow in Brazil. You guys don't have major disasters down there that I know of, like natural disasters. I know of. We have that all out here. That was a big difference too.
Well, thank God I'm in LA right now, but I come and go, depends on the time of the year where I am at. But when I first moved to New York, I think it was like, I want to say 2015. It was that year that we had like the worst blizzard and the.
Oh, I remember. I was back there. I remember. Mm-hmm.
I remember calling my dad, and I remember being in tears and being like, I can't do this. I can't do this. It gets dark at 4 p.m. I am cold all the time. The heater is on. I have 7 layers and I am cold. I can't do this. I remember freaking out, and my dad's been like, just tough it out for a little bit longer. You may like it. And then Christmas time in New York hit, and then the city was just so beautiful. And the city was just so. I've never seen Christmas and snow and beauty.
Right.
And I was absolutely. And then I was like, I'm never going home. I'm staying forever. That's it. We're doing it. We're toughening it out. And then I had pretty coats, and it was fine. And suddenly I was okay with it. But it was really tough at first. The warm thing freaked me out.
Yeah, I'm sure. But at least you're in LA right now, where it's a little warm. Like we had rain last night and this morning, but it's been warm out here, so it's been.
Oh, but it's really funny. I had some friends who, before the lockdown happened, they tried to take me to the beach, hoping that I'd be really impressed, and I was like, "This is it. This is what you want me to see."
It's not Brazil. Brazilian beaches.
I was like, "Do y'all know where I'm from? This does nothing. Why is the water so cold? Are you making ice?"
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it didn't do well. We didn't do well.
I grew up over here, but when I finally went to the Caribbean for the first time, I saw beaches. I'm like, oh, white sand beaches. The water's like bath water. It's warm. Oh, okay, I can handle this. Like, this is different out here than it is where you guys are all down.
Everything is different. Like, it's crazy. I mean, Brazil has a specific smell to it that just smells like home.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll catch a specific whiff of it somewhere, and I'm like, smells like home. But I've been gone for about 5 years. I've been here in the U.S. for about 4 or 5 years now, and you get used to it. But I miss home every day.
Here's something. Have you been to any Brazilian restaurants while you're here? And what
Oh
do
my
you like
God,
there?
absolutely. Favorite one in New York. It's Berimbau. It's in the West Village. It's
Ooh,
right by Grey Dog.
okay.
It's
Oh, I
on
know Grey Dog. I know
Carmine
where that is.
Street,
Yes.
on Carmine, I
Oh,
think.
I know where that is actually.
There is one on University Place too, but the one on Carmine is better.
Okay.
It is the best Brazilian food. It's owned by Brazilians. I know
Oh, good.
all of them.
Good.
And if you are listening to this and you're in New York and you haven't gone to this restaurant, you are missing out. Get the vegetarian dish with the fried egg. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. Or the
Sounds.
stroganoff. It's incredible.
Oh,
Oh,
sounds good. Sounds good.
and they
Mm.
have pão de queijo. They have all the Brazilian foods, and it tastes exactly like it does back home.
I guess because it's owned by Brazilians, that does help. I guess on some level.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
when I try to make it, I mean,
Not the same.
no, my grandmother said that me in the kitchen, I'm a disgrace to my family. And she's honestly correct. She's very correct. I'm terrible in the kitchen.
I love it. That's so funny. I love it.
I can do other things, but I can't cook.
Right. So in the end, how important really is education? You feel in your life that because you're going to school, because you're obviously pursuing a career, but you're like, I want to get education too at the same time. How important is education to you?
It's crucial. Um, I remember growing up and seeing that a lot of the stars I wanted to be like hadn't gone to college and hadn't really finished high school. And I remember using that as a cop out and kind of being like, great, if they didn't do it, I don't have to do it. And somewhere along, like when I started understanding what higher education could mean, and even though it is not for everyone and it puts a lot of people in financial turmoil, it just, I understood the importance that a degree could come to have, especially when you're in an industry that is very volatile and ever changing, and it matters. And I needed to have a degree, and I still feel like it's very important, and I won't regret it once I get it. Most people that I have met that have quit college have told me that they regret quitting college. And so I'm going to toughen it out. And it means that I don't get to take some vacations for probably about 5 years, but that's okay with me. I don't mind. And I work hard, and I truly believe that you reap what you sow. And I'm currently trying to plant some great seeds.
I like that. Smart girl. So next thing I want to talk about a little bit about is your Snapchat has series and things on it. And I watched some of the series on Snapchat. They're actually really fun. So you're a part of one called Endless in season 3. So tell us about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, what do you want to know? Let's start with that one.
It's like, okay, so number one, it's like, so Snapchat, okay, first, how they come into your orbit? Because I know that there's a million streaming services everywhere, and Snapchat is its own little app. So it's
Yeah.
kind of how they, I mean, you're on Snapchat obviously anyway, but like, how they come to you? How did you find out about this?
That's really funny. I knew someone who on the production
Oh,
team,
okay.
and they were looking for a new cast member. And when they described the personality, they said they wanted a feisty personality, someone with, my friend Tiffany said that that's the person on the show, on the production team. She said, I have a friend who's feisty and bold and not afraid to speak her mind and kind of like tough, and meet her. So I came in for a meeting, and they called me back, and in less than 2 weeks I was in New York and we were shooting the show. That's really how it happened.
How long? Tell people out there, how long are the episodes? Like, I mean, because all the Snapchat ones are they're really short.
The episodes are 5 minutes. They're all in 5-minute increments, but they're released daily. So if you caught them while they were being released, it was like a daily saga. Yeah, and we shot all of December.
How was it actually doing? Now you're doing something else that's different. I mean, you're not in school. You're not singing. Now you're doing something else. How was that for you?
That was the most foreign thing that I've ever had to do.
I'm sure.
It felt very different, but I really did look thank you. It was very different, but I lucked out. I had a lot of luck because the cast was really great.
Oh, good.
Both Summer and Dylan and everybody on the production team could tell that I had never done anything like this. So they were really like kind and patient, but it is softly scripted, which means a lot of it is scripted, but a lot of it is not.
Okay.
So they all made me really comfortable to just be authentically myself and just kind of act like cameras weren't there for a lot of it. But we shot for a whole month, and you only saw 5 minutes of each little chunk of what we did. So a lot of it wasn't put in, I guess. And I that's what was the biggest surprise for me, because I saw it when everybody else saw it. I didn't get a chance to pre-screen it. I was watching it live when the episodes went live.
You don't even know what's gonna. You're like, I know what I shot, but I don't know what's gonna happen, how it's gonna look.
That's exactly how it was.
Wow.
Yeah. I had no idea that I didn't see any of the episodes beforehand. I saw them as they went up with everybody else, and that was a little freaky.
How do you think you came off?
I think that that's
because you watched it as a viewer, basically. You watched it as a viewer.
I did. I guess I understand why, but they played up the drama so much.
Of course.
But I feel like in a way that you didn't see the efforts that I made to make everybody comfortable in the situation.
Okay.
Which I wish they would have included. Like, clearly I knew both Summer and Dylan and their exes, and that was the biggest contention in the story.
Yeah.
And I really was hanging out with both of them, and I really did become great friends with both of them. But
which happened?
Like, they played up the romance aspect with Dylan and I when we really were always just friends. Like, we both understood that we were just friends.
Yeah.
He's still a buddy. I'm actually really close with his girlfriend, Quincy, and I.
Okay, good.
We have matching sweatshirts. This actually sweater, we have this matching sweatshirt.
I like it.
She's incredible. I love her. And I guess you didn't see the efforts that I went to let both of them know that I'm not a tattletale. I'm not here to share secrets. I'm not here to tell her what he told me or tell him what she told me. And I feel like the show kind of made me look a little bit like I would do that.
A little shady.
But the thing is they needed the drama. Like, you're watching for the drama. That's what you want out of it. And people and they say, I guess I don't have a problem with it because the show says it's softly scripted. And so I don't have, like, there's part acting that goes into it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And that made me a little bit more comfortable because I feel like some people don't really know that. And that's how I feel about it. Yeah. I have mixed emotions.
Would you do it again? Would you do something like that again?
I don't know.
Okay, that's legitimate.
I feel, and the reason I say that is when I make music, I have so much control over everything. And I can take the time, and if I feel like the song is not ready to be released, I won't release it. Right. And if I think that a music video isn't good enough and I have to reshoot it, I will reshoot it. With something like this, there's just, like, I'm a Gemini, I'm a control freak. My rising is an Aquarius, and my moon is a Scorpio. I am a control freak. I'm a mess and a half. I'm a thunder.
Girl.
I know. I need to know what's happening, and that freaked me out, not knowing what was going on and seeing it just as a viewer. It was an interesting experience. I don't think it was a bad experience. I have only sweet memories from it. It was a great experience, but I don't know if I'd do it again unless I was more in control, I'd say.
Makes sense. I mean, you're like a person who you try experiences, you take experiences, you go through them, and you take parts out of it for yourself. You seem like that kind of person. You seem like a person who doesn't regret anything. You're like, I did it. I had a good time on it. What came out, came out. That's life. Yeah.
I absolutely don't regret doing it. I absolutely do not regret being a part of Endless. I loved working with the people that I really did enjoy the experience. I look on it as a very positive thing. I have taken incredible friendships out of it. I have taken work experience that I otherwise would never have gotten anywhere. It was a hell of an opportunity, and I am only thankful for that. But I don't know if I'd do it again. It's just, that's where I'm at right now. But it's not a no. I guess if it's not a no and it's not a yes.
Got it. She's open. You're open. Yes. You're open to discussions.
Yes.
That's all. That's good. That's good to be. And so, if anybody watches this, because I get Catherine who watches stuff like this, like I do. She's open to discussions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand that. That's good, girl. I would like that. You are just like a light of sunshine. So
Oh
thank
my
you.
God, thank you.
This was I had a great time with you. It was so much fun. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. You're so easy to talk to. It's incredible. I had a great time.
Tell people where they can find your stuff, your music, your social. Promote yourself, girl. Tell them what they can do. Where they can
All
find.
right. Well, I am on all social platforms and I'm super creative. So my username is at the Laura Pieri. It's the because there's only one. It's just me. The Laura Pieri. It's not a Laura Pieri. I am the Laura Pieri. I'm kidding.
That's right, kids.
My
That's right.
yeah. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Snapchat. Add me on TikTok. Help me figure out what I'm doing there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, on Spotify. If you want to find me, I'm on all music platforms. You can search up my name. And if you want to listen to my newest single, it's All I Need. And I think it's bomb. So you should
It
listen.
is. It's good. It's good.
Thank you.
It is. It's good. And folks, this is In Between the Pages with James Lott Jr. You can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. Again, I have a new song out. Go to my SoundCloud page, James Lott Jr. Go to Spotify, James Lott. Just go anywhere where music is streamed and sold. Type in James Lott Jr. and that song should come up first. It pops up first. And of course, this podcast is everywhere. Also, like, subscribe, and comment. Follow her, follow her, follow her, follow her. And everybody, please stay safe and sane.
Yes. Thank you so much.